Alrighty, here we've got Noble and Supersonic Avengers. This is going to be quite the match. Noble not bowing down just yet, keeping their dreams alive, and they are going to be going up against a formidable Supersonic Avengers squad, and I believe this is a rematch from earlier today. So we'll see if Noble can bounce back and take this second series.
Yeah, they are going to need to try and muster up whatever they couldn't muster up in the first round to get past, or second round I think it actually was, to try and get past Supersonic Avengers. They apparently did a really good job getting past Comrade Gaming, so they're moving on, but I don't know, this will be very interesting to see. You know, maybe they needed a tournament to kind of play through a few teams, get a bit of a rhythm going, and maybe they'll come into this series and just do what we expected Noble to do here and kind of make that qualifier spot, which is what was initially, I guess, predicted, so to say, by the initial rankings. So,
yeah, if they make it in, then the seeding holds true, and really, it was very apparent that the teams 1, 2, 3 really deserve that spot 1, 2, 3. So Noble coming in here, and I was casting that first match. Me and Shogun were taking a very keen look at both of those teams in that game, and it appeared like Noble was having a lot of trouble getting offense going. They were not able to get hardly any shots on net, and Supersonic Avengers was setting the pace right out of the gate. So if Noble wants to have a chance this game, they really need to come out strong and make sure that they're organized, their game sense is on point, they're not going for the same balls, and they're continuously putting pressure on and generating shots, because they weren't even generating shots, so that means there was no rebound opportunities to put in. And in Rocket League, a lot of goals are from rebounds from good shots. So we're gonna need to see Noble step it up on offense and really bring it to Supersonic Avengers, because if it's anything like the first match, then I would not be surprised to see this be a 3-0 in favor of Supersonic Avengers.
It very well could be. And they need to bring forth the team game that they're capable of playing. They need to start working on developing plays, putting offensive chances together. This is stuff that they're able to do. We know the effectiveness of Skyline as a striker. We know the effectiveness of Stocky as both a defender and a playmaker. They just need to turn that game on. Maybe they already have, and we just haven't seen it since that second series. But hopefully we get a chance right now.
Well, we are getting our chance right now as the first game between Supersonic Avengers and Noble eSports begins, and this matchup, this best of 5, so critically important because the loser is going home and the winner gets their spot in the Rocket League Central Pro League. So everything is on the line here, both teams vying for that spot, and now we're seeing Supersonic Avengers right out of the gate putting the pressure on.
Yeah, this is it. There are no second chances. Both of these teams have had their second chances. They're on those chances right now. So getting into the Pro League now is it, else they are done, and it's just a matter of sitting in the sidelines and watching as these other teams manage to make it through. So I'm very eager to see. Hopefully, at least Noble puts up much more of a fight than they did in that first series. And right now, look at that shot.
Oh, there you go. Fighting right out of the gate here is Vogan with less than a minute in, taking advantage of a pass from his teammate, launching it all the way from their side, and it looks like that might have gone post down, but it was tapped in by somebody on Supersonic Avengers. So good for Noble getting that early goal. They're going to need a lot more offense compared to what they did in the first series if they hope to stand a chance.
Yeah, that did go right off the front of Maestro's car, but you know, the problem there is that he was really just going up to try and deflect it. Those are very hard to read because it was really close to being either on goal or on post. So you kind of have to commit to stopping those, and that's what Maestro did. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough, but a nice pinch there sends it all the way back downfield.
Absolutely, and you can see Vogan here trying to continue to keep this pressure on, but Supersonic Avengers does get a good clear there and has boost now to do some damage. Off the backboard pass from Maestro right to ELMP, who's there for the hit, and he dunks it in. A phenomenal team play there.
Yeah, ELMP is an outstanding player, like Shogun was saying earlier. He's been a part of a team with Flipside Tactics that won Rocket Royale before. We know his capability. We give him the nickname of Lamp because, I don't know, that's just how ELMP ends up sounding when you say it really fast. So I love Lamp.
LMP? I don't know. But I'll call him Lamp too if that's the official
term. I don't know if anything's necessarily official.
And somebody points out, yes, I accidentally did say phenomenal. I meant to say formidable. and phenomenal.
It was phenomenal.
It was phenomenal there.
This whole series has been phenomenal.
So far.
So,
So ELMP here deciding to let Snasky take that ball. Has some boost to do some damage. That does bounce off the corner. Skyline there to put that back into the Supersonic Avengers zone. Skyline taking out Maestro there.
yeah, good demo on Maestro, but it wasn't enough. They didn't do anything to capitalize on it. And that's the thing with demos is you have a very, very small window to do something with it. And that was a good demo. They just couldn't do anything with it.
Absolutely here, and you can see ELMP forcing this way through. Maestro and ELMP both consulting there on how to best get that ball out.
Right. Pretty nice play on Maestro's part, just kind of waiting it out. Could have tried to play it forward, but here comes Stocky. I think, maybe.
Yep, Stocky trying to get that stuff, not able to do so. Skyline does keep the ball in the zone, and both Supersonic Avenger players not in position to get the clear, but nobody from Noble there to pressure them, and they're able to continue to work this ball in the zone. But Noble not touching the ball for quite some time. Just gathering some boost here. Taking their time on this assault. ELMP coming in and saying, forget that, I'm taking this ball.
Apparently Skyline thought he was a golf tee for a second there and just kind of sat there with the ball on his hood, but...
Playing the part very well.
Yeah, he did a good job. And
and a shot on net. Hits the post. So, opportunities coming out for Supersonic Avengers. Both teams kind of playing this a little bit slower than you'd expect.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. They're coming into this really slow, and they're taking their time, and they're just trying to set a pace that they want because, I don't know. I think if the game gets a little too fast, it might be a good for Supersonic Avengers. They tend to play a much more faster-paced game sometimes. Yeah,
and you know that Noble is playing a little bit concerned because they lost the last series pretty commandingly 3-0. So, but they really can't get back into that mindset of playing defense. They really need to start generating opportunities, forcing Supersonic Avengers to make saves, and then trying to get goals off the rebound, something that did not happen at all in the last matchup. So, Supersonic Avengers still generating more opportunities than Noble so far. So, Noble needs to start responding.
Yeah, they really got to turn this around. They've got the team game that's more than capable of playing this ball up pitch and putting something together, and so far, it just seems like they're committing one person forward and then trying to turn a play out of it. And that's not the kind of style that Noble does well, if they really do it at all. They play a team game very well. So hopefully we'll see that a little bit here. Oh, right there.
A missed opportunity, and Maestro there with a critical hit, making sure that ball did not get kept in the Supersonic zone. Boost coming out for ELMP. And a huge block from Snasky setting up the pass to the mid. Vogan there to hit it, but still in a dangerous spot here. And a shot by ELMP. Takes the goal with 16 seconds left. That could be it for Noble in this matchup, or at least in this game. And a clutch goal at a clutch time. And really, I don't see Noble scoring and getting back in this game with only 16 seconds left.
No, they haven't been able to do it much throughout the rest of this game. I don't expect any really big surprise goals here. That little bowling shot by ELMP was just enough to sneak it past everybody. And I found those are a little hard to play because you don't expect the ball to come in rolling along the ground. Most goals you see in Rocket League are big shots. They either arc in or they come flying in from above, and they couldn't react to it. And here we are now, one game down for Supersonic Avengers. So
yeah, and we see the storyline too, Shalthus, continuing. Look at the shots and saves for Noble compared to what you see for ELMP or for Supersonic Avengers.
Yeah, heck, for ELMP, I mean, he's got 6 shots on goal. That's more than double what the entirety of Noble has. So that type of offensive pressure is really what it's going to take to get past Noble. The more offensive pressure they're able to put on the net, the harder time it's going to be for Noble to get it out of there and actually try and, establish some kind of offense. Because that's what they need to do right now, and they're not doing it.
Yep, the fact that Supersonic Avengers had so few saves mean that Noble was not even putting enough shots on net to force those saves. And if you looked at the saves for Noble, they had quite a bit. So Supersonic Avengers doing a much better job forcing the issue, getting pressure on net. As you can see here, as they continue to put shot after shot, Skyline keeping the scoreline 0-0 so far. But how long is that going to last with this onslaught coming in by Supersonic Avengers?
You keep putting shots on net and something's bound to give. I mean, they can't just keep letting Avengers just take pot shots on him.
Yeah, and there it is. It finally happens. ELMP is the one to put it through. As you know, when you get that many shots on net and force the pressure that much, it's bound to fall for you. And there you see it. ELMP putting a squad up 1-0, really setting the pace and the tempo for what potentially could be the rest of this matchup, as Supersonic Avengers has not been afraid of Noble at all today.
No, they haven't. And they've been commanding these games. They've been taking ownership of the pace that they want to set, the way they want to play. Every single game that they've played so far has been entirely the way that Supersonic Avengers wants it to be. And I know they've revamped their team slightly since we last saw Supersonic Avengers, and it's really... What is that?
I have no idea.
What is that? ELMP just carries this ball the entire way downfield and then plays an aerial wall shot from midfield. And nobody contests it.
I love Lamp because he scores goals like that.
And I mean, that's just... You can't let goals like that happen. You really just cannot do it. This is a very different Noble team than we've seen over the last few weeks, to be completely honest with you. You know, when they came in as Noble with Stocky on board and kind of made their debut, so to say, in Rocket Royale, they looked practically unstoppable. They were just a domineering team, and they just took charge, and they were getting big wins. But since then, it really hasn't shown. You know?
Oh, and another goal for Supersonic Avengers as Snasky just sends a floater right into the net of Noble here. Look at that. He's upside down, hits that with his wheel, and it goes in. So everything going Supersonic Avengers' way, and the offensive pressure just continuing to yield goal after goal, and Noble fighting on their heels. I don't know, Shalthus, if Noble's going to be able to come back from this, just basing it off the last series that we saw between these two teams.
I doubt it. You know, at this point, I'm not seeing the kind of play out of them, quite frankly. You know, even if you just take that entire previous series and throw it out the window, just on the games we've seen this series alone, this game and the last one, there hasn't been the same kind of control or the same kind of hustle. I mean, there's very few opportunities being put on net, and they're constantly getting shut down. So
50-50 ball opportunity being won by Maestro, although Vogan did get it back into the zone, but still just not a lot of opportunity here for Noble.
Yeah, they're trying to... I mean, I don't know if they're trying to slow it down or if they're just not able to take advantage of anything. And again, ELMP with a ridiculous shot off the wall, practically from midfield again. Gets it past Skyline and gets it past everybody else. And this game is... I mean, we're not even halfway through, but I'm tempted to say this game is well out of Noble's reach at this point.
Yeah, if they don't score very soon and start chipping away at this lead, it really is. And it's really the question will be, are we going to see a Brazil? Because the way that Supersonic is playing right now, they need to score less goals in the back half than they did in the first half. They are just putting so many shots on net, doing a great job preventing Noble from getting anything going.
Yeah, they've been completely denying every offensive opportunity, not just even shots on net, which they have been doing, as you see right there. Huge stop there. But they've also just been preventing anything from basically crossing midfield, essentially. And as soon as they get it on the orange side of the pitch, here comes Supersonic Avengers, and they start putting goals away.
The LMP on the wall, which we've seen him score several wall shots. Almost getting another one there. Skyline trying to get this ball out of the reach of Supersonic Avengers, but Supersonic Avengers just continuing to keep the ball in Noble's zone. And as you can see here, Maestro going up, winning that 50-50, putting it in, putting his team up 5-0. You can see they're winning 50-50 ball yet again. And that's the difference between what we've seen out of Noble and what we've seen out of Skyline, is that Skyline, or well, Noble and Supersonic Avengers. Supersonic Avengers has continually been better on those 50-50 balls.
Yeah, they're able to contest these shots and win these advantages much more frequently. And I don't know, I'm not seeing any of the kind of hustle that we need to see. Look at that back and
team
forth.
Play.
Are you kidding me with that?
Chalthus, break this one down for us.
This is beautiful back and forth. Maestro goes in and plays it up. Snasky with a beautiful play forward. Maestro just lets ELMP take that one too. He knew ELMP was coming in. He could have just chipped that in, but he wanted a bigger shot on net, so he lets ELMP take it, who gets a wider shot on net. So there's no problem. Sixth goal.
6-0 right here. Supersonic Avengers really just taking this match with quite a bit of swagger here. 6-0 against a Noble squad. So really something to behold so far. Noble has a lot of ground to make up, and the seventh goal potentially coming here.
God, that was close. I mean, this has been just a massacre. Like, this is not the kind of performance we should be seeing out of Noble. Like, just not. This is not the kind of Noble team that has made it into the top few spots of the qualifier, that got seeded so high and has done so well lately. Like, this is... I don't know which one this is. If this is just a complete collapse on the part of Noble, which it feels like, or if it's just a Supersonic Avengers team that may very well be the sleeper team to watch in Pro League.
Yeah, I mean, they have manhandled Noble, and, you know, I wonder if it's just a play style difference. You know, there are some teams whose play styles just contradict other teams. So, you know, maybe Noble will beat top teams, but against Supersonic Avengers, they just struggle just because of the way Supersonic Avengers plays. And honestly, that kind of seems to be the case, because I have not seen Noble struggle so much against any team, for that matter.
Yeah, I'm not really sure which one it is. I mean, you may very well be right that this is just the way they play. And finally, the sheet gets clean.
Yep. Setting up the Brazil. There's 5 seconds left for Supersonic Avengers to get that. So a good hit there by Skyline, making that one happen. But too little too late, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, one goal with 5 seconds left. Obviously, it's not going to do a whole lot of anything. You know, even sometimes we can say that a late goal like that can help in terms of building momentum or affecting morale in some way. But at this point, I can't even give them that much. This is just not the sort of play that I really expected to see out of Noble.
Yep, and we are going into game 3 here. 2 goals here, or 2 games for Supersonic Avengers. And look at the shots again. 8 shots from ELMP, 4 shots from Maestro, 2 shots from Snasky, and look at the saves needed by Noble. So just so much offensive pressure coming out here. It's going to be tough for Noble to come back from this, and really it just seems like their offense has not been able to get going against Supersonic Avengers.
No, because it hasn't had a chance to get going because they haven't even had much of a chance to get it past the halfway point. Like, the ball has spent... If Rocket League had a time of possession clock, it would practically be... I would almost say it would be over 4 minutes in that game for Supersonic Avengers in terms of how much time that ball spent in the orange side of the pitch. Because they just weren't able to get it out of there. So they spent that entire game on defense, thus why they had so many saves, but also why they gave up so many goals.
Yeah, and you know, I hope to see Noble bounce back from this, but really, the offense, ever since they first played Supersonic Avengers in the previous series, they just haven't been able to get things going on the offensive side of the ball. So I really hope to see them mix it up. And wow, Vogan getting that early goal in 6 seconds.
Yeah, really good start there. I mean, nobody from Supersonic Avengers goes in on that kickoff. So it gets shot into that corner, and then Vogan comes in with a beautiful redirect. Puts it up nice and high, and a very good and very necessary start for Noble here. Like, so that is just something they needed right now.
Yes, they do. I think they did score the first goal in one of the other matches. They need to keep that going and not be satisfied. The ball's still right in front of the net. That was so dangerous. But Noble does get away for that, so maybe that will be a little bit of reassurance that luck will go their way, and they'll be able to pull off a win here. But really, we can't see Noble be happy with this 1 goal. They have to continue to attack, because 1 goal will not be enough to take out Supersonic Avengers.
No. They have to start showing a little bit of that relentless style of offense in order to show that they can compete with Supersonic Avengers. Because right now, they haven't shown that. But if they can start demonstrating that, yeah, they can start putting shots on net, they can keep the ball in the blue side, they can make Supersonic Avengers work for it, then yeah, you know.
Oh my goodness, look at that angle. I was expecting a pass out into the mid. You could see that Maestro trying to get that clear. Vogan comes up and somehow hits that in. Oh my gosh, what an angle. I was expecting a pass. Vogan hits that in though. 2 huge goals from Vogan, and really, if Noble wants to have a shot at this, Vogan's going to have to continue to do things like that.
Yeah, beautiful start for the game here for Noble. I mean, that's exactly what they needed. And, you know, Vogan, obviously a very formidable offensive player for Noble. So, really, this is the perfect way to start this game. And it feels like they've turned it around a little bit. They're spending a lot more time on the other side of the pitch now. And that's what they needed, frankly.
Yep, a big shift in momentum is going to have to happen because Supersonic Avengers has had the momentum since they first played earlier in the day, and really Noble not been able to get anything going since then. So it will need to be a huge shift in momentum, and not to say it's impossible, but it's going to be pretty tough. And a good pinch there by Stocky, and a good opportunity there, putting the ball into the corner. Skyline going to try to get this back into the mid, but Snasky takes care of that, and now Supersonic Avengers on the attack.
Yeah, one thing Supersonic Avengers needs to do is if they want to close this series out now, they can't get too overwhelmed with how aggressive Noble has been thus far. Oh, look at that.
Look at the dribble goal.
Wow.
So this is what you call a dribble. Those of you who are new in Rocket League, just keeping the ball in, well, pseudo dribble, but very good ball control by Stocky. Just tapping that ball around his opponents, taking advantage of that ugly shape of the gizmo, tall shape of the gizmo to control that ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's just spot on ball control right there. Maybe not a lot of dribbling, but ideal ball control just to carry that the entire way down the pitch, floats it over 2 defenders and puts it away. And again, Vogan, what?
Break it down.
Are you kidding me? Look at Vogan, plays this to himself off the wall, carries it all the way around, and picks up the rebound on that awkward rear wall bounce that the ball loves to make sometimes. And he just drills it home because he knew that that's what it was going to do, because that's what Vogan is capable of.
Vogan has been like a sleeping giant so far. In this tournament, he's been sleeping a little bit, but this game, he's had sick goals. And if he continues to play like this, I would not think that Noble doesn't have any chance at all.
No, I mean, Noble right now has shown that they're getting back into this thing. I mean, Vogan already has logged a hat trick at the halfway point of this game. So the aggressiveness has been turned way up. The amount of time spent on the blue side of the pitch turned way up. This is exactly what Noble needed to do, and I'm a little disappointed that it's taken them 5 games against this team to do it, but Snazky breaks the clean sheet there. This is a beautiful goal, too.
Yep, so we see there a clear attempt by Vogan. Stocky not able to get there, and Snasky just puts it, a laser beam right on net, no one there. So a very, very good shot there. And now we've got 4-1, so 2 minutes left for Supersonic Avengers to start working their way back. So, it's with the scoring ability that Supersonic Avengers have had so far, I wouldn't rule them out just yet, but Noble is looking pretty fierce, and if they take this game, momentum could carry into the next game as well, and we might see a reverse sweep possibly, which would be very exciting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not only would it be exciting, but it would be very well possible. I mean, we're seeing a little bit of that whole morale and momentum thing shifting around right now. You know, just look at how Supersonic Avengers is playing compared to how they were playing in the last 2 games. They're a little more passive. They're not able to get that aggression out. They're looking a little more on the back foot. Yes. And that has to do a lot with how Noble's playing.
Oh, you could see, right there, exactly as you were saying, Snasky was so indecisive here, trying to decide whether to go for that ball. He decides to sit, and Noble Skyline comes in, and fortunately, he hits it off the wall right on ELMP, who hits it in his own net. But like you're saying, it seems like mentally, Supersonic Avengers, they might be in a tough spot because they're thinking, all I've got to do is win this one game, and putting so much pressure on themselves that they are now playing not the way they were earlier in the tournament.
No, definitely not. You know, that's a hard mentality to bring into this game, is you got to think about it from the perspective of, we got to play the same way we did before, but it's hard to have that mindset when you're also thinking, we have to win this game so that we can make it into the Pro League, else we're done. We can't lose here. We need to win. And the pressure really builds when you're on the verge. And yeah, Supersonic Avengers is still going to be on match point in the next game, but at this point, like you said, Noble could very well have that momentum.
And if you lose that game 4, when you were up 2-0, oh man, that is a tough spot to be in.
With what I've seen now, if Noble beats them in game 4, I don't think they stand a chance in game 5. I think they're going to be mentally broken at that point, because they're already looking ragged, just based off of what Noble has done to them in this one game. So that could be a weak point for Supersonic Avengers. They take a big loss like this, and they take it a little hard. So
Absolutely.
maybe this is enough.
It's right now an opportunity for Supersonic Avengers to score, and they're not getting these open net opportunities. ELMP also missing. So Supersonic Avengers doing a little bit of crumbling here, showing some chinks in their armor. You've got to wonder if Noble's going to start battering away at them one game at a time. And they do take this game 3. It's now 2-1, still in favor of Supersonic Avengers. But now, momentum starting for Noble.
Yeah, that is precisely what they needed. They needed a big win like that. They not only needed a big win, but they needed a controlling win like that. And that's really what they got there. They got a very controlling, dominating win out of that series. And they just looked really good there. So, you know, props to them for being able to kind of pull it together a bit, so to say.
Okay, so it looks like we are going to be making a new server here real quick for these teams, but Noble looking really, really strong in that game. So I, being a Noble fanboy, as I had said before, I am excited to see what they do, but I've seen how tough Supersonic Avengers has been so far today, and I'm still very worried. It was one great performance by Noble, but Vogan just went huge in that matchup. Like, some of the goals he scored in there were mind-blowing. So I don't know how recreatable that is, because they were such amazing goals that, you know, and uncommon goals, really. If he's able to recreate that, Noble could beat really anybody. So we'll have to see Noble really come back and perform as well as they did, but it seems like a tall order because that was such a good performance by Vogan.
It was. And I don't know if they necessarily need to recreate it exactly, but they do need to keep that momentum. They need to keep that energy. Keep that level of pressure and that aggression that they brought in that last game. Keep doing that. You know, maybe they don't have the same amount of goals or the same kind of flashy goals, but if they're at least shutting down Supersonic Avengers, preventing these plays from happening, and just keeping them on the back foot like they did that entire last game, they're going to win this thing. Definitely.
And then, like we were saying before, this is a best of 5 right now. This is our 3rd advancement match. The winner between these two teams gets into the Rocket League Central Pro League. So a very, very important matchup here. And again, these teams having trouble here. You know, one thing that we've learned is that the EU folks struggle with getting games going. You know,
yeah.
and it can be tough. It can be tough, Shelf. This Rocket League is a hard game.
It seems like the hardest part of Rocket League is making sure you're in the lobby and able to start the game sometimes.
They should use TeamSpeak or something. That would be really cool.
Imagine that. Imagine you have some level of communication like that.
But regardless, here again, for those just tuning in, this is our 3rd advancement match of the day for EU. We've got one more coming up after this for the EU region to determine all of the EU teams that will make it into the Pro League. So stay tuned right after this. Right after this matchup, we'll have the next one to determine which team gets in. But anyway, this series, it's our 3rd advancement match. We've got Noble versus Supersonic Avengers. Earlier in the day, we saw Supersonic Avengers trounce Noble 3-0, and really a commanding performance. Noble not able to get anything done, and it seemed like that's what it was going to be today when we first started this advancement match here. But Noble, in the last game, they were down 2-0. They came out, performed huge, led by Vogan with some insane goals, fought back and took that 3rd game. So we're going to be hopping into the 4th match. But right now, Noble is fighting with their backs to the wall. Hopefully for them, though, they can get another win here and tie up the series 2-2, because it is a best of 5. And if they do tie that up, all the momentum would be in favor of Noble. And really, Supersonic Avengers potentially would be on tilt after winning essentially 5 games in a row over the course of these 2 series, and then losing when it matters most. So a lot of pressure on both of these teams moving forward.
There is. It's a ton of pressure and a lot of big expectations for Supersonic Avengers here. You know, I think going into this tournament, a lot of people maybe didn't expect Supersonic Avengers to put up this kind of a challenge to Noble. Maybe a lot of people did. I don't know. But the fact that it tilted so heavily earlier was fairly unexpected. I expected a pretty competitive series, but not a 3-0. And here, the fact that we were nearly on the cusp of another 3-0 was also really surprising. So if it tilts heavily again, and they lose this fourth game, and all of a sudden Supersonic Avengers just can't make it happen. Like they can't find the mental game to make it happen. Then that's going to be something that they need to take away from this tournament to work on, because they can't let a loss or two losses completely upset their ability to win.
Absolutely. And, you know, we are starting this Rocket League Central Pro League, but this is one of many things that we've got working on. So this is going to be a phenomenal source of content, but, you know, other teams will have the opportunity to continue to play in the highest level pro matches moving forward. So they shouldn't be too discouraged. Even if they don't make it into the Pro League, we'll have much great Rocket League action. One of the things that we will for sure be doing is the Rocket League Central Pro Draft tournaments. We've already done one Pro Draft tournament for the NA region, and we are working on getting the EU region organized very quickly. So, you know, we'll have not only that, but much more great Rocket League content, and a lot of it is funded by you guys. So all your donations go towards that kind of stuff, and we really appreciate it. And we're working on getting the incentivized reward system and everything set up, but we keep track of anyone who's given us anything. So when we finally do get that all set up, we'll be reaching out to you. But it looks like the teams have joined. We are going in to Game 4. It is Noble versus Supersonic Avengers. Supersonic Avengers up 2-0. Noble trying to fight back and keep alive their dream of making it into the Pro League.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to this, and we're going to have to figure out in these early goings what kind of team we're going to see from both sides. You know, is Supersonic Avengers going to be able to shake off that loss and show the same kind of game that they did in games 1 and 2 and the other games 1, 2, and 3? You know, or has Noble figured it out? I think that's what we need to really figure out here. Has Noble figured out what they've been doing wrong and what they need to start doing right in order to move forward here?
So we'll go on board with Stocky to try to find the answer to that question. See him here trying to play some defense. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful play by Supersonic Avengers.
This is just beautiful. Look at Maestro. He's going to roll this forward, sets it up perfectly for ELMP, who just drills it dead center on that net. I mean, that is some great team play. That's the sort of offensive opportunity that good teams are able to put together, where it's not just you shoot the ball forward from the other side of your net and happen to put it in. It's setting up offensive chances. It's putting goals together, and that's a great start for Supersonic Avengers, and what a response. Okay.
Oh, what a stuff there from Vogan. Stocky coming up off the backboard, hitting the ceiling, rolling down. Beautiful play by Stocky, but also getting set up by Vogan there. So great teamwork there as Noble responds, ties it up 1-1.
Yeah, that was a great early response there for Noble. I mean, that goal for Supersonic Avengers in the very early goings here was kind of necessary for them to shake off the issues from last game. And that response was just as necessary for Noble to not feel like they're on the back foot again. So I mean, that's all around just good.
Yeah,
for both these.
Skyline trying to get this ball into the mid. All three players from Supersonic Avengers out of position, quickly recovering here. But, a phenomenal shot here by Maestro, trying to get it in, but Skyline denies that. That could have been bad. Still dangerous spot, and ELMP puts it in. Great play by Supersonic Avengers, keeping that pressure on.
Yeah, look at the angle that ELMP picks up on this shot. Just, man, he had to pick a harsh angle in order to get that ball away there. I mean, that was just spot on in terms of the angle he came in on, the speed he had in order to put it right inside that right post. So, big play by ELMP to keep this going.
Really, ELMP having a huge game here, scoring the only 2 goals for Supersonic Avengers. So, ELMP doing everything he can and gets a huge save there, popping that over the net. So really, the MVP hitting it yet again. ELMP is doing work for Supersonic Avengers.
He is, and he has to. I mean, anybody has to come in there, and Maestro tries to put that shot in, and Vogan with a big stop. I mean, they are just coming in at all sides here. This is the type of game I expected to see out of these two teams. Both teams showing a lot of aggression, putting a lot of good plays together, good defense. everything is clicking for both of these teams. It just so happens that Supersonic Avengers has the 1-goal advantage right now.
Oh, and a good opportunity here that Vogan takes advantage of and puts that one in, tying it up. Really, you need to see him score. You need to score goals like that. Vogan taking an open net, bouncing it right in over Supersonic Avengers. So I guess it wasn't as open as it could be, but really excellent execution there by Vogan, tying it up 2-2. Noble is still in it.
Oh, yeah. And you know, Noble was in it still, just they were down 1 goal. But that did not last
Oh
very
my
long.
gosh, and another own goal here. You could see it was a great shot by Skyline, putting it on target, but really unfortunate as ELMP hits that into his own net. That was going to hit the post and bounce out. So ELMP getting that own goal there, but really he couldn't be expected to know that that wasn't going in. So a good attempt there, fortunately for Noble, working out for them, and they take the lead in this game 4.
Snasky trying to play that up. I mean, that, again, it's a morale and momentum thing, you know? It's a matter of not letting goals like that drag you down. So that's something we'll have to see if Supersonic Avengers can recover from that. You know, a little bit of a mistake. Sometimes it's going to happen. Don't let the miscues completely thwart your ability to win this game. And Supersonic Avengers right now, hopefully they can pull that out.
So far, Supersonic Avengers just trying to recover here. Stocky had to go the distance to make that save, and he does. So Noble still maintains their lead here. Big 50-50 win here from Vogan. That might be going on target. Just a little bit left, but Vogan stays on it, picking up the boost, putting it out mid. Nobody from Noble able to take advantage, but still on the offensive here. Stocky trying to punch it out mid. He gets it to Skyline, who just misses. So Noble putting on a lot of pressure. This is a completely different Noble than we saw in the first series.
Yeah, they have come together since that 3rd game. They're showing a lot more aggression, and you're seeing it. More chances being put on net. They're not all going in, but it doesn't matter. If you're just consistently putting shots on net, consistently forcing your opponent to hang back on defense, it's preventing them from putting any plays together to try and tie this game up. So even with a 1-goal lead, and I said this during the break, they may not get a 5-1 win, but just being able to show that they're the dominant team is all it's going to take.
Yep, so Noble trying to tie this one up at 2-2, and will certainly be carrying the momentum. And as of late, looking like the superior team. You've got to wonder if nerves are playing a part, but oh no! An own goal!
That should not have happened. Look at, I mean, Snasky's going to hit this shot here. It's going to squeak past everybody, but Vogan trying to stop it ends up hitting it too far from the side and just kind of helps it in. Gives it a little bit of that funnel effect.
Yeah, and ELMP was still there to force that one in. So that was just a tough spot. A really good play by Supersonic Avengers, just putting things on net, hoping things go in. And now a floater opportunity for ELMP, who doesn't go for it, lets it hit, but still putting it on target.
Wow.
Oh, just missing long.
That was way closer than it should have been. If that had gone in, it would have been even more ridiculous, but the fact that it was so close is just obscene. I mean, that's incredible angles picked off there by ELMP.
Yep, so Noble's tournament life on the line, an aerial opportunity for Vogan, who puts it in! Wow! I can't believe it! An amazing pass by Stocky into the mid. Vogan having to make an incredible shot attempt, and he does, and bounces it right into the upper 90, putting his team up 4-3 with just seconds left. Vogan coming up huge for Noble.
Oh, that was an absolutely critical goal, and now Supersonic Avengers, they've got to get it together here. Going to try to get one more 0-second shot here if they can manage to come back into this, but
oh my
not going to happen.
He left me speechless. That was a phenomenal goal by Vogan. Vogan making himself the MVP for Noble in this series. And if Noble makes it into the Pro League, somebody better make Vogan a special t-shirt or a hat or something for his performance in this series. He is coming up huge for Noble.
Yeah, Vogan has always been a very formidable striker on this team, and it's really starting to show in this series in particular. He is coming out swinging because he knows that he has to. He knows that Noble, they need to win here. They need to constantly win. They need to keep putting shots on net, keep putting pressure on, because like we've been seeing, the more opportunities that they get, something's bound to give, and it has given them a win.
I've got goosebumps right now, Shaltis. This is our advancement match. This determines which one of these teams is making it into the Pro League. one team makes it, the other team is going home. We've seen Noble come back, fight back from a 2-0 deficit, tie it all up, and now this game 5, determines who's going to make it or who is going to lose it all. So I can't believe it. What a phenomenal goal by Vogan, forcing this situation, and really we have quite the treat ahead of us in this Game 5 matchup.
Yeah, if you had told me that this series was going to go all 5 games based off what we saw in the first couple of games, I would have called you a bold-faced liar. But this has been a huge bit of redemption here for Noble, and a ridiculous comeback, and the exact sort of momentum that they needed to earn a spot in Pro League. But Supersonic Avengers now has to tap into anything they have, whatever they've got left. Now's the time to find it, because this is the last game for both of these teams that they're going to play today.
Yes,
they got nothing left.
You will either have the fame or have the shame from this game. And
exactly.
I didn't, so very
some good rhyme in there.
I did not mean to rhyme it, so just worked out that way. But a huge game nonetheless. Really can't wait to see which team breaks this scoreless game here and puts the first one in, because the mental effect of that is going to be insanely huge for these teams. You can see them both playing very cautiously, trying not to make mistakes, because this is the biggest game that either one of these teams have played in quite some time.
Yeah, they have definitely slowed it down a little bit, playing it a lot more careful. They're not showing that same kind of ruthless aggression that they kind of had in the last few games on both sides, because now there's no forgiveness. You know, you make a big mistake and that could be the end of your tournament life and the end of your Pro League chances. So they got to be really careful here.
Absolutely. So still scoreless, 3 minutes left.
I'm a little surprised that we still haven't seen a goal. Well, I guess I'm a little surprised. You know, they are slowing it down, so they're playing more defensively, which is the reason we're at a 0-0 scoreline almost halfway through the game. But, oh, nice.
Oh my goodness, this angle pass to Skyline. Skyline punches it in. So a phenomenal play here. You can see Skyline keeping the ball in the zone, passing it over to Vogan, who puts it right out into the mid, back to Skyline, who puts it in and puts his side up 1-0. So a huge goal for Noble. The momentum continuing for them as they get this early goal, or the first goal in this game, and such a critical goal.
Oh, ELMP trying to carry that up. That was a huge goal for Noble right there to get this thing going. And I mean, it could very well come down to a single goal. That's just the way these teams have been playing at this point. It's so slow. They're playing so defensively, so carefully. They don't want to let in too many goals. Some nice team play, though, developing here.
Yep, Supersonic Avengers needing to get one here. Noble in a good position, up 1-0, 2 minutes left. This game has not been as an offensive show as we were used to in the past with bigger goal numbers, just probably because both of these teams playing so cautiously, not wanting to make mistake and lose.
I feel like Supersonic Avengers is on the cusp of scoring a goal here. They are putting so much together right now.
Oh, Snasky accidentally backflipping instead of going for that ball. He was trying to do a double jump, accidentally backflipped. So a huge opportunity here. Maestro gets it on target and ties it up.
So beautiful. Look at this play develop here. ELMP with a great cross into center, and Maestro just gives it just enough. I mean, that went in a little slow. He was very fortunate there that it wasn't slow enough that somebody could get to it. But
it looked like Stocky accidentally did a side flip there instead of doing a forward flip. I don't know even if he would have forward flipped if he would have been able to get there, but it was potentially a mistake that cost them that goal.
Yeah, and that's all it's going to come down to at this point. These two teams are at such a point where it's just going to be either bad clears, mistakes on flips or jumps or whatever. And that's what it's going to come down to.
And you could see there that was a mistake made at half. I believe it was Vogan, Vogan accidentally bumped Stocky, allowing ELMP to get this hit into the corner and then passing to himself to score. So a mistake at mid, potentially costing Noble everything here. They've only got a minute left, but it's only one goal, so it's still very possible. But that has to be devastating, accidentally bumping your teammate, leading to a goal. So we'll see how Noble responds here.
Yeah, as it stands right now, Noble really needs to get it together. They've been letting a lot of opportunities come together for Supersonic Avengers. So if they can turn it around and pull something out, it'll be good on their end. But man, that whole exchange there was far too close for Noble to walk away empty-handed.
Yes, Supersonic Avengers in the lead here, trying not to let this reverse sweep happen. They are leading, and there is not very much time left, so things starting to look grim for Noble here. Potentially about to see some panic set in from this Noble side as they try to frantically score this goal.
I mean, it's coming down to the point where you can't play cautiously anymore. You know, you have to start throwing things at the goal just to hopefully get something in, because even if something else goes in the net...
Oh, and that's gonna be it!
That'll do it.
Oh my. So Noble's dreams slowly being crushed here as Maestro gets that aerial goal. Only 17 seconds left. Supersonic Avengers, after going up 2-0, losing the next two, are seeming to respond in this Game 5 to punch their ticket into the Pro League. So just a few seconds left here. Noble's going to have a miracle to make this happen.
Yeah, I don't expect anything to happen at this point. I think just all of those important factors are now on the side of Supersonic Avengers. And despite Noble's best efforts, they are not going to be able to make it past here. And
Yep.
Supersonic Avengers are going to Pro League. It's happening. This is it. They can keep they can keep 0-second time going as much as they want.
They don't want it
The
to
game's
end.
done.
Yep. There's two goals. And
well-
then they did get the goal there, but that's still going to be it. It was a great last-second goal, but Supersonic Avengers takes out Noble in this Game 5, resulting in their making it to the EU RLC Pro League. So, my goodness, shout this. That was quite the treat, and congratulations to Supersonic Avengers and really Noble. Admirable comeback there, pushing it all the way to the very end, forcing that Game 5, but Supersonic Avengers just proving to be just too tough for Noble as they take them out and secure their spot next to MyXMG along in the Pro League.
Yeah, they fought tooth and nail to get that spot. They really did. Noble, you know, after those first two games, I really was doubting their ability to compete at this level, to be perfectly honest. Like, I thought, you know, what are you guys doing if that's all you're going to bring? But they clearly pulled it together in games 3 and 4 to show a little bit more about what Noble's about. And that Game 5 was a very, very close contest. But I think Supersonic Avengers, they knew they had come this far. They'd beaten them before. They couldn't let that reverse sweep happen, and they managed to shut it down.
Yeah, Noble had such a good response. Vogan, in particular, just taking his team's banner and just waving it and running down the battlefield, trying to lead his team to victory. He did a phenomenal job bringing them back into that and helping Noble force that Game 5. But really, we saw there at the end that mistake of accidentally bumping Stocky out of the way. ELMP came in, knocked the ball into the corner, and that led to the go-ahead goal there for Supersonic Avengers. So one mistake, you know, when you're playing teams this good and games this close, one mistake is all it can take to make the difference between you moving on or you going home. And unfortunately for Noble, they will be going home, but big congratulations to Supersonic Avengers. They now taken out Noble twice today and secured their spot.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Supersonic Avengers. You guys deserve to be in it, and really well done. So we are going to get this next and final EU advancement match up and going. So guys, just stick around. We'll have that going here. We're making the lobby, and we'll be getting the teams in here very soon. So stick around. Check out the brackets on rocket-league.com. Follow all the action that's happened today. And also, even though we'll be done with EU after this, we've got NA coming up right after. So make sure you guys have everything you need to sit down and watch all this great Rocket League action going on today. So we will be right back with our final EU advancement match of the day. Please stay tuned.